This is Gessel Sated Podcast. This show is for 14 plus disclaimer. All said on this show is opinions and should not be taken as facts to reference. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, I just touched down. White sands, beautiful women, nice food. I don't think I'm coming back, man. Ain't coming back to the States, baby.
Second segue.
All right, here we go.
Okay, all right, we back. Second segment, segue, I guess I'll say it. I'm your host, Adam Mills. To the left of me is.
That's because the governor.
And our special guest in the building, Jamil Abdullah. This is the Guest I Said podcast. It's Black as Culture. It's us. Okay. All right, brothers. Another disclaimer. I'm speaking on myself. Y'all can join in on the disclaimer. I do not know about politics. This is strictly my opinion. It could be ignorant opinion. If I'm wrong or need to be corrected in any way, please feel free in the comments to correct me and educate me. There we have it. So, let's get it in. Gloves off on this one, brothers. I have a lot of female subscribers. I hope to have them after the show. One subscriber, a few weeks ago, I don't know if I told you guys, he was saying, one thing, I don't like when people try to force feed you something. Educate me and give me a choice, right? Like Black Sheep said, this or that, right? Going around saying, y'all make sure y'all vote for Kamala Harris. Make sure y'all go out there. Don't let Trump win. First of all, and I do. First of all, in a public setting, I don't know if it's against the law to tell people that. That's just like me being a supervisor and telling my fellow employees, make sure y'all vote for Kamala. Don't let Trump win. Don't let those Republicans get in. I don't know if that's against the law, brothers. Y'all, maybe y'all can tell me if it is or not. I don't know. I think it could have been stepping over boundaries a little bit. But that was the mode of the class during ending of the class. Make sure y'all go out and vote. Exercise your right to vote. Make sure you vote Kamala. This is going to be the first Black female president. You're making history. You're part of history. So you know me, Gov. I couldn't hold my tongue. Pause. I said, first of all, me personally, I don't like either one of their policies when it comes down to what's going on in Palestine, what's going on in the foreign policies, what's going on in Darfur, Sudan, China, what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. I differ with that. That's just me personally. Okay? What's going on in the home front? One I may sway more towards when it comes down to the legal immigrant situation. I'm for people coming over here and finding a life and bettering themselves, but what I'm not for is people doing it illegally. No, I'm not in their shoes. I don't get up every morning and face the issues they face. Maybe they have no choice but to do so. But I do know in certain countries, they're not going for that. If you may get shot down trying to cross those borders, right? So, beating around the Marbury bush. I said, I have an issue with women leading over men. And I said I told the Black women, before y'all jump on me in this class, understand my world and where I come from. I believe that people have a role to play. When you're out, and I believe that, yes, everyone should be able to fill in on that role, have education and knowledge of that role, Like when you get hired for a job, right, fellas? You all know you work fast food and you get hired for fries. They're not gonna just have you on fries, are they? So have you on the burgers, cash register, you know, good with money and people, cleaning the floors, but your position is the fries. So when it comes down to women and man in their role, what I believe what the Creator has set them to do, right? They have certain positions. If one was to fall short of that, one can pick up the mantle and carry on, right? But it's not for that to happen. Y'all follow me on my for that to be? Y'all follow me on this? I hope so. So when I tried to break it down, I was called a chauvinist. One lady turned to me. She said, getting watery and everything. The black women getting riled up. You don't want black women in charge. You don't want to make history. You such what's the word going on with black men now? I think Obama said it recently. That we're like we're chauvinists or something like that, where we don't want we don't want a woman in charge of us or something like that. I forgot to that nature, right? But before Obama, pointed the finger at all of us black men over here in America, I got a taste of that medicine a couple weeks before that. A bunch of angry black women saying that I'm a chauvinist. I don't want to see women get ahead. I don't want a woman leading the nation or whatever the case may be. I think now that more than ever, and I'm going to let you brothers cook after this, we're going through an identity crisis, brother, and everything. If I want to go outside and be a dog and bark, right, I'm no longer going to look that crazy. I want to be a dog. I wasn't born a dog, but I want to be a dog, and you should be fine with that, and you should be okay with that. You get what I'm saying? Where little boys and girls nowadays, they want to switch identities, and certain politicians want to pass laws where they give sex changes to inmates and stuff like that. I think we're going through an identity crisis, and I think it's on so many levels and so many scales that we lost our sense of position in this country. I think what a woman does, she does well, and a man can never do it. And what a man does, he does well, and a woman can never do it. They may have knowledge of each position, but they're created to do a certain thing. You get what I'm saying? So I think that we're going through an identity crisis, and I think that it's going to show this coming election. And that's just my opinion on it. Just mine. Adam Mill. That's my opinion. So brothers, feel free, whoever want to chime in first. Y'all can correct me. You can point the Obama finger at me and say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Get out of here with that, Let me know something, fellas. What's up? How y'all feel about Kamala Harris, if elected? Is she fit to lead a country, a military, as a woman? That's some hard-nosed questions. That's a hard-nosed question. Whoever want to hit the floor can hit it.
Yeah, well, what I'll say is, I think that when it's time for politics and people vote, the thing to remember is that it's people inside of these booths, and with their vote comes their ideologies and their different personal beliefs. There's some people that voted for Barack Obama simply because he's black, and there's some people that didn't vote for him simply because he's black. So I think with Kamala Harris, there's going to be some people that's not going to vote for her because she's black, some people that's not going to vote for her because she's a woman, some people that's going to vote for her for those reasons. But as far as her ability and her capability to do the job, we had George Bush Jr., as the president of the United States. I think if we could get through George Bush Jr., I think you got to think about it. And it is no disrespect to any president, but what I mean is that. But I'll just get to the point. I think she is capable of doing the job. I think that there are some people who are chauvinists who don't want to vote for her because she's a woman. Maybe part of that reason why some black men may be against her is because what we see nowadays is the black man in America with the different mentalities that exist, are struggling to feel like men. So, you'll look on the internet and you'll see these, these different conversations, where men are now like saying that they're the prize and they, the 50-50 topics and, when you get to the table topics. Yeah. So what you have is a population of men who are somewhat, maybe trying to find their own voice and maybe feel like they are not given the respect as men. And they see a black woman becoming president as a threat to that. And then there's some people that might come from a more spiritual background where maybe their religion tells them that only men can lead. But if we look at it historically and we just look at it in the terms of when we take out the personal beliefs and the feelings and the emotions and we look at history, we see that there have been plenty of examples of women who led nations successfully. Just in Black American culture, we look at Harriet Tubman, we look at Sojourner Truth. We can even go back even as far as our own childhood. We've seen what our mothers did for us and we all came out fine. A lot of us grew up without our fathers in the household. And here we are, we're very productive and successful and we're taking care of our families. A lot of black women did what they had to do to make sure that we had a good life. So and then if you look at like Jamaica, you got Nanny who led the Maroons. So I think her being a woman doesn't make her any less handicapped of becoming a president. I can't tell anybody who to vote for, but a lot of people felt bad about Donald Trump being the president. And, Donald Trump even made George Bush look competent. And a lot of people thought he was the worst president in the world. Do I feel like Kamala would do a good job? I think if she became president, I think she would do a good job, about as any good job as anybody else. So, for me personally, I don't think that her being a woman would stop her from becoming a good president. We've had plenty of men who were horrible presidents. Some were great. So, and some she would be greater than. Like for an example, right now, between Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, I don't know what's going on with Joe Biden, but I'm sure that she would do a better job than Joe Biden right now because, a lot of people question, his mental state and everything like that. So, I don't have any issues with her if she became a president. And I don't have any issues with a woman being in leadership because just in my own personal life, my personal experiences, I've seen women do outstanding jobs with taking care of households, communities, when men were present. And the men themselves couldn't really rise up and do what the women did. And just in my own development, I've seen women play a crucial role in helping me take myself and my mentality to the next level. So, I'm not against her becoming president for her being a woman. Now, if she'll be a good president, I think that's remain to be seen. But her being good or not good, I don't think her gender plays a role in that. It's about her own personal competence.
Well, that's good. It's deep. Some things I want to go back on. As far as her and Biden, I don't know how much power or influence that she had during these last 3 years. Being shotgun with Joe Biden. Like I said, this politics I don't have any knowledge of. As far as the single parent, in the house, the woman, the majority of times, unfortunately, it was the black woman. And you go back to the 60s or whatever, when they were dealing with welfare and stuff like that, the government forced the black man out of the house. And you go back to capitalism again. You know, do you want a hardworking black man, or even if he's struggling to get work, you know his capabilities, you know what he stands for, you know he's a man of honor. You get what I'm saying? And you know that he's fit to lead. Now, we all can agree. We all been, I don't know, Gov, you was raised by two parents, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so your outcome's probably a little different than mine. I'm not sure about you, Jamil, but I was raised in a single parent household. I believe with a strong man knowing his position, my outcome would have been a lot better. Because there's certain things that a woman, that my mother couldn't achieve on a successful level, because that wasn't her role. Doesn't make her a bad person, doesn't make her incompetent, but she did not have that capability because that void was missing. You get what I'm saying? So when I look at certain policies, and I won't go deep into them, Roe v. Wade, if I'm pronouncing it right. When I'm looking at the giving, you know, prisoners operations for, you know, changing their identity. I become very kind of skeptical about that. I really do. And like it or not, this country was founded on, whether we can all agree or not, during that time, strong Christian values that still held strong in the Bible. These forefathers, they were founded on these strong Christian values. I think that these values are going out the door, and it has no type of what can I use for it? Is the moral compass is leaving this country. And when someone is aiding, and what's the word, abetting or aiding these moral compasses to move out the way, I think I have an issue with that. Because when you take something that's supposed to be innate normal and you make it unnormal, then you're going to have problems. You're going to have problems, and when does it stop? When does it end? Now, I will say this. I'm a journey on the other side of the gate. I'm going to put my religious beliefs and stuff. I'm not going to put it to the side, but I'm going to be open-minded. Can we do that? We'll be open-minded. Just say if she did become president, right? Fine. Now it's your turn. Now I think it's her turn to show people, can she be as strong as Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt? Could she be a good leader? Or do she cater to the chaotic chaos was making this country the laughing stock of the world right now? I know, and you probably should know too, because y'all traveled to Africa. I just came back from Morocco. And the ones that can speak a little bit of English, you know what they tell me? This is what they tell me. They say, you country crazy. Y'all have little boys dressing up like little girls. Y'all do this, y'all do that. I say, that's them. I say, may God bless that country and bring it back to its true form. So Me personally, I'm willing to put things to the side, and if she's willing to lead, me personally, I have a issue with Democrats. I don't have a dog in the fight, but I have an issue with how the Democrats been treating black folk for the last few decades. Look out in the cities. Look how we're being pacified, and look at the schools. Look at all these things. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But I would put my personal, someone call it chauvinist, I just say that's my personal belief. I would put them to the side, and I say if you get in the chair, what's her policy? How's she going to aid black folk? How's she going to aid the people of the country and make it better? How's she going to stop the migrant crisis? And some of her policies off the chain, with sex changes and Roe v. Wade and stuff like that. She played shotgun to Biden. You see how he ran for 3 years? A running joke. Gov, it's on you, bro. Tell me. I mean, someone please educate me on this, because this is how I feel. You know?
See, the thing is, there's so much chaos that's beyond. See, we only see one side of it. We're seeing bits and pieces. Like, there's the politics that goes on and plays out on the cameras. And then there's also the politics that plays out in the White House itself. You know what I mean? Like, it's an office, just like an office building at the job. So it may appear that, you know, Joe Biden is a president and Kamala Harris is working side by side with him. But in reality, those are two separate entities. You know what I mean? So a lot of what was going on was what being run in that administration, I believe, was being run by his people more so. And she has her set of people. Just like Obama has his set of people. There's the Clintons. They have their set of people. Even when it was the Republicans around, they had the Bushes were separated. They had their own faction. And then you had the Cheneys. They got their own faction, the Romneys. So it's like certain ones, they got their own little faction. So no, they're not all together as it may appear. You know what I mean? So the challenge that she would have if she's the president is going to be whether or not she can get these different factions to come to the same table and do things. Can they do that? I think that's what the big test of the real question is. And I think that's what people I honestly wish that politics would really focus more on that, more so than they get into the personal things like, is she Indian? Is she black? Does he say this? You know what I mean? Or whatever. You know what I mean? When it comes to versus can they work with various types? Because that's what it comes down to, because no country, especially this one, is not one demographic. We got too many different type of people around for us to think that we can just go one set way. You can't. That's why I would look. So when it come down to, is she able to sit down with the different types, have the different types sit down and they can actually have a discussion and really do something and actually bring something forward? That's the true question I have. And can he do the same thing? You know what I mean? That's what I think people really need to look at it that way versus, like I just said. So when we come to, can she lead? I think it comes down to not only the ability to do that, but when it comes to your ideology, you can believe in your ideology, right? And I understand, like everyone understand, hopefully, if you're smart, you take the time to really dissect your ideology so you can say, I understand what I believe, right? But at the same time, you got to be able to, okay, what does the next guy believe? You got to be able to understand their ideology to understand exactly how can you negotiate something. Like if this was business and if I'm trying to sell you something and I got this for you, but I don't speak your language, how am I going to get that to you? I'm going to break down and try to find simple ways to try to communicate. If I've got to understand the way you communicate, but no one's taking the time to do that. So I think that's what's really lost in a lot of leadership. That's why it's so much chaos. So can it be done? That's the true question. And I don't think that anyone's really showing that ability to do that. You know what I mean? We're seeing a lot of divisiveness, like when it comes to campaigning, name calling back and forth. You know what I mean? And then it's even gotten to the point now that each campaign is calling the supporters of the others like as if they're traitors. You know what I mean? So it's not going to work.
It's a distraction. It's a joke. like the real issues, like you said, are being
ignored.
they're being put on the wayside, and then we're being entertained. And this is why I say, when it comes to other countries, and the only reason why we're a laughing joke, we're a running joke, because the only reason why we even respect it, again, is a short list. But even while we, for real, even while we even have a little twinkle in our eye where other countries respect us, because our strong Navy, our military. If we had a weak military, we'd been overran long time ago. You know, because it is a circus over here, and no one wants to talk about it. No one, and those who does speak on it, they get name called and they get shunned out. You know, and like I said, I don't have a dog in the fight. You know, if I was, I wouldn't vote for Trump or Kamala. I don't think that neither one of them are good candidates. I think this probably is the weakest run ever in history. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure something out there, but this is one of the ones.
You think that this current age of social media, like everything, all your business can come out, right? But just the slightest thing, even back to teenage years, right? Do you think that that's probably preventing some of the best, like the brightest minds that really could be running for president, both parties?
Yeah, because you know why I wouldn't be a leader? I couldn't be a leader, bro.
But my brother, look at what Trump did in office. So when you look at Donald Trump and all the things that he's known for, he's made it easier for maybe brothers without the most cleanest background to consider political office, because I don't think anybody's going to outdo him. He's had criminal charges brought against him. He's been known for like almost everything that you personally would be nervous about. He did that in office. You know what I mean? So
the only difference is, Jamil's this.
True.
This.
That's a big
color. I hate to play the race card, but you know.
You ever see at the same time, he also, I'm surprised that he's lasted as long as he has, because I've seen different scandals pop up. I'm like, yeah, that's the end. And then somehow, you're still right there. I'm like, how? So
it's called power.
I'm saying, I'm like, all right, case in point. Like, there's been other guys that's run before that they saying it's the rich guy running for office, right? All money's going to get them through. And each time that they ran, that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. That ain't nothing. You know what I mean? But for some reason, he was able to somehow not even appear like the rich guy. People are looking at him like the average guy. In spite that we known him, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you listen to like a lot of the radio, right? Listen to a lot of the supporters and listen to the way they talk. They talk about like as if he was a trucker like them.
So what's really going on? Do Trump know something that we don't know?
Here's my personal opinion. I think to the brother's point is that part of the reason why I think he got away with that is because, again, okay, like when you look at the state of, and this is just my personal opinion, when you look at the state of white men in America, particularly racist white men in America and women, when you look at, they're noticing that they went from kind of like this like imperial white privilege society where it was very clear that white people had, quote unquote, the upper hand and things of that nature. But then over the past, 30, 40 years, they begin to see a lot of that dwindle, or, they've seen other nationalities of people achieve the American dream, to the point where their racism, felt threatened. So Trump spoke. I mean, I've seen it. He spoke to the heart of the racist white people in the country. And when you look at the statistics, most white people voted for Trump, Democrat and Republican. I was even an election judge, for one of the elections. And literally, even though people came in there registered as Democrat, when we did the tally at the end of the night, most of those people voted for the Republican. You know, and it was mostly where they had sent me at. It was like a big white area. So Trump spoke to the racist ideals of, you know, I would say a large number of white people in the country. So that's why the trucker, you know, related to him. That's why the everyday white person who might be racist connected with him, you know, and I think that's why he was able to kind of get away with the other things, because the main thing that was true to their own personal constitution, he spoke to. I think maybe where Kamala might have wanted to put a little more focus in was like relating to people. But I think if anything, I think with women voters, she did a little more of that. You know, because, you know, I think naturally as a woman, you know, women kind of go through certain struggles that, you know, men don't even recognize. So I think, you know, she didn't have to put a lot of effort into that. A lot of women kind of already know what's going on, just, you know, but you know, I just think that I'm not telling anybody who to vote for. But one of them is going to become the president. And I just think that, you know, if it's Donald Trump, you know, we've seen what he has to offer. You know, if you're into that, you got an idea where that's going to go. But we don't really know what Kamala Harris would be as a president. So if you kind of want to maybe give her a chance and give her an opportunity to, you know, see what she's capable of.
But this is my thing. Can we afford 4 years? Is a saying that saying, who do you want, the devil or Judas? Who's worse?
Okay, well, here's how I would look at it, right? A lot of things that we've talked about that we see wrong in society, they were approved under men leadership. You know, the whole transgender thing, these were black men, and, you know, because Obama was a president, and white men, these were men who approved that. These were men who are.
It's sad. That's why I want her. It's hard for politicians. That's why this country, and this is why we call them puppets. Because someone told me before Obama passed the same-sex law, he was totally against it. Then he felt pressures from different organizations or whatever, and their law came to pass. But he did not agree to the same-sex law when he came in. That's what was told to me. I can find the proof and probably send it to you guys. If whoever told me can present the truth to me, present the proof, I can show it to you guys. But he was not on board with the same-sex marriage.
Maybe.
He was not on board.
Maybe.
Let me just ask you a quick question with that. So that's an example of the president in office being pressured to go a certain way. And I think we can assume that there might have been other situations where other presidents and even the same president were kind of maybe forced into making those kind of decisions. What makes it okay for Barack Obama to be pressured into that kind of a situation as a black man, or, you know, Ronald Reagan or Trump or Bill Clinton being pressured? What makes it any better for them to be in that situation that probably all presidents are going to go through to some level? What makes it any worse if she were put in that position?
Good question. Good question.
It's about equal in a way.
Yeah, so, you know.
I guess their decision making at that point is what it will come down to. How do they weigh that? Are they only swayed by political pressure, or do they have like some type of conviction deeper than that? You know, that's the true question. I don't think political cycle, the way we go through the political cycle, I don't think we really do a good job of finding out their conviction like we should.
Yeah, and what do you guys think, as black men, real quick, do you think it was assaulting for her? I heard someone mention something about a loan and some weed or something like that. Do y'all guys think that was insulting to us black men? And real quick, and what's y'all latest take on Trump Hitler rant?
Now, the thing about the loan and the weed thing, I think that's in connection to, there's a preacher in Atlanta or something like that. He was talking about he wanted to invest money he was trying to get people, like, say, we're trying to find people. He trying to say, you trying to get more guys to come in, then why don't we find phone of them and see if we can start growing cannabis farms or something like that. He was trying to get loans for that, I think. So I think that's where that thing comes from. And she may, they take these sound bites and make things sound all type of ways. And I think something like that will be going with Trump too, because that'll be very idiotic. At this point, I was saying something like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That's why it's hard to take, because, especially in this world of AI and nobody got proof. You know what I mean? It's hard to
really. Yeah, you can't trust nothing nowadays, bro.
That's true.
Can't trust nothing nowadays.
That's a good point.
Whoever's in the chair, I hope the best for them, and I hope the best for the nation. I will put my personal where I feel to the side. At this point, we just need the best candidate. We shouldn't be a sideshow of, the first woman, or that she's black or not, or it shouldn't be we don't want sideshows. We don't want distractions. We just want the best candidate at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So this wraps up the Guest Outside podcast. I'm your host, Adam Mill. To the left of me is
the governor.
And our special guest, Jamil Abdullah. Man, it was a pleasure having you on the show. We got to do this again. Feel free. Your family of the show. Come on through. Go. Where can they find you at?
You can catch me at www.thegovernorsmansion.net. And it's DAGUVNAS Mansion, MANSION.
And is there any last things you need to say, Brother Jamil? You want to give out any social media links, or what do you have going on, or whatever the case may be?
Yes. Me and my sister Martine D'Souza, we've come together and we've put together the Walk of Victory. The Walk of Victory is an olive branch of peace from the Republic of Benin to the diaspora. As many of you may know, the Republic of Benin, also known as Dahomey, was like an epicenter of the transatlantic slave trade. So this Walk of Victory is calling the sons and daughters of the Africans who were enslaved in the Western Hemisphere to come back to Benin and to join our brothers and sisters in peace and unity. This is part of the solution that many of us have talked about with making life better for our people. So the Walk of Victory, if you want to learn more about the Walk of Victory, you can look up the social media for Martine D'Souza. On Instagram, you can go to @IleaShegun the Walk of Victory. You can follow me. I'm Jamil Shabazz. You can follow me @JazzQueni on Instagram, and then JASKWENI, or you can. I'll send maybe links to you all.
Please, I'm about to say that. You put words out my mouth. Send me the links, and I'll post it up when I do the editing and stuff. I'll post it up.
We have it every year. And then they're also offering citizenship to Black people in the diaspora. That's something that's developing.
Man, that's the best news.
Yeah.
Through the whole conversation we had, bro.
It's still in the works. It's still in the works, but by the time maybe a lot of the followers and people get on board, they already have it sorted out. But these are some of the things that we're doing with the Walk of Victory. So I just wanted to make sure I put that out there. Mm-hmm.
May the Most High give that success. Amen. This wraps everything up. Glad to see the governor back in the building.
All right, yeah.
Yes, sir. All right, man. I guess this wraps this up. I'm your host, Adam Mill. This is Guest Outside. As Black as Culture is Us. Peace.
Yeah. I just touched down. White sands. Beautiful women, nice food.